The next book in our series of Slide and See fairy tales is The Princess and the Pea by Dubravka Kolanovic. Once upon a time, there was a lonely prince. He had a fine horse and a pretty garden, but he didn't have anyone to share these things with. The king and queen decided to hold a ball at the castle so the prince could meet princesses from nearby kingdoms. The prince met tall princesses and small princesses. He met loud princesses and proud princesses, but none of them was quite right. Maybe it's time you went looking for a bride, suggested the king. So the prince packed a bag and set off. Good luck, said the king. Come back soon, sniffed the queen. The prince traveled far and wide across many lands, but he couldn't find the princess of his dreams, so he returned home sadly. When he arrived home, the family sat down to dinner. A terrible storm raged outside. Lightning flashed and thunder rattled the windows. Then there was a loud knock at the door. Hello, said the girl at the door. My name is Princess Polly. I'm looking for shelter from the storm. The prince invited her inside. The prince and princess talked for hours. Polly was so funny and kind that by the end of the evening the prince had fallen in love. When the queen saw this, she decided to make sure that Polly was a real princess. The queen piled a bed high with mattresses and placed a pea under the bottom mattress. Only a real princess would feel something so small under so much bedding. When the queen showed the Princess Polly to her room, the girl gazed at the bed in surprise, but she was much too polite to say anything. Polly climbed onto the top mattress and snuggled down. Sleep tight, whispered the queen. The next morning, the princess came down to breakfast with dark circles under her eyes. How did you sleep? Asked the queen. Polly burst into tears. I'm afraid I didn't sleep a wink, she replied. There was something lumpy and bumpy in my bed. The king and queen were delighted. So you are a real princess, the queen cried. The prince was overjoyed too, because Polly was the princess of his dreams. Will you marry me? He asked. Yes, the princess replied. And they lived happily ever after. The end. Good night, Sarah.